kindly put together a little presentation. Can I sort of ask you to do it in about 10 minutes?
I'll push it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. So, wonderful. Is that mine? Okay. What am I doing wrong? Ah, good thing. Okay, that's the old one, but never mind. I'll rush through the process. So, global trade finance. We actually have two pillars to talk about. Trust among the players, and I'm not talking about digital trust, etc. I'm talking about there is goods which are shipped from somewhere to somewhere, and there is money that need to be transferred from the second party to the first party. Do they trust each other? Good question. Normally in the business, in the global trade, we say that they don't trust each other. So moving ahead, we're talking about, if we look at this chart, we're talking about exporter and the importer. And there are many ways to make the payment among the parties. But the only process that balances the trust is actually letter of credit, because in any other form, someone need to be stronger and force payment terms on the other party. So LC actually is the only way that we balance between the parties. Now, if we're talking about the market, and my data is relevant for 2019. Why 2019? Because actually we had 2 years after that of COVID, which fluctuate along the way, and it cannot be measured in terms of what we used to see in global trade. So 2019, we had $19 trillion of global trade. Now, when we're talking about global trade, we're talking about how much is going through the maritime shipment and how much is going through the air shipment. About 10% go through air shipment. So actually, when we're talking about LCs, LCs cannot tap it. That market is actually not the relevant market for the traditional LC. And if we continue to look at it, we can divide the geography to short shipments, which actually take, for example, UK to France. If we send documents and we ask banks to be involved in, so we'll have to bear cost of storage, demurrage, all those costs, which cause us to pay a lot. So if we define the market, about 40% of the market going through the maritime shipment through between short shipment adjacent countries. So again, this is not a financeable tool to be used as an LC for those shipments. So we stuck only with 50% of the $19 trillion. If we continue to look at it, we actually see that LC responsible only for 4%. But we just mentioned that LC is the best tool to balance between the risk and the trust of the buyer and the seller. So how come we use only 4%? And another 18%, about 18% is going through collection. But when we're talking about those 4%, just to go back to the past, 1685, same LC. But it was responsible for about 70% of the global trade. So what happened? So what happened is banks are missing out for the opportunities. How come? How come we missed that out? Now, our customer actually doesn't feel right with adoption of the LC anymore, because they need to physically come to the bank. They waste money on document couriers, etc. There is a process to make by them. They need to wait days and weeks for the document. They suffer from delays of the releasing of the cargo. We have a problem. Now, let's look at the other pillar, the financing. So actually, when we talk about the financing, that journey that you're seeing here, am I competing with your charts, Sean?
No, that's good.
Okay, so that's the document process on a shipment. So it starts with the manufacturing order and the factory and container and carrier and courier and another. All this process is huge, huge. But can we finance all of it? All those red circles that I made are things that we cannot finance even when we're talking about it. Because when the bill of lading is a good document to put some financing to it. But it's with the courier. We cannot finance it. So we have a problem with it. So we still have challenges, too pricey, okay? When we go into the document process, yes, we have the cost of the courier, we have the cost of all the processes and the LC itself, so too pricey. We have risk of fraud. At the end of the day, we got document, physical document. Do we like it? Do we trust it? Do we believe that this is an actual physical bill of lading and it's not a fraudulent one? We stay with the questions, and there is an operational risk of documents. Of course, documents can get lost. On the banker's side, who have seen document lost in the mail in the process? We've seen it. So actually, I'm going back to the LC process and say one thing, major thing. Banks can optimize the use of LC and the use of tools like LC and increase market share. And going to the market share, if I'm going to this one, yeah, this market share can be increased dramatically, because if we're going digital, we can go for the 40% of the short maritime shipment. We can finance those. If we have a digital process and it's cheaper, okay, so we can tap the other 50% that didn't like us, okay? So this 78% become an opportunity, a live opportunity for the banks to work with. So going to, digitization. So streamlined process, no need for couriers, no need for the cost of the couriers, secure operation, no fraud. We know exactly who sent the document to us. We know to manage the document. We cannot lose documents anymore. The financial coverage, if you save all the time of the couriers, so we can put financing through all that period. So we're Wave, and I don't know how much time I'll have, but
I think that's about
just this slide. Wave is active in the, we have a network. The network allows us to push trade documents, all the set of trade documents between all the parties to the transaction. The unique thing is that our bill of lading, and it's not ours, okay? The bill of lading remains the same bill of lading of MSC or Hapag-Lloyd or Zim or any other company that uses our services. And the bill of lading is something that we can transfer possession and title holding on that document. So actually, when you're getting the original electronic bill of lading, you know that you're the only one who can claim the goods. We've done only last year more than 100,000 live transactions. So not a demo, not a POCs. These are actual cargo container going from somewhere to somewhere else. We say that we have more than 5,000 agents, sales agents, because we actually don't sell our product. It is sold by the shipping companies. If you'll come to MSC tomorrow with a container, they'll say to you, electronic bill of lading, correct? Because only if you have a good reason not to use it, will go electronically. So market change, yes, this is the market change that we are so much looking for, to adopt the market, to believe in what we do, and to see the benefit.
I think I'm going to have to stop you there.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Fine. But let me invite all of you to talk with me, and we can show you a demo or things,
Thank you.
wonderful things on top of that.